Okay, so right now, based on what I've understood from how the center has gone over the last 5 years, and incidentally, this year is the 5th year anniversary since the center has been established. I can see there's so many things happening globally, and every country has its own unique issues that are going on. One can't say that one country is the same in another part, and so what I can see is for us as a center to be the voice for a lot of these countries, to also to bring together a lot of these issues that are happening in different parts of the world into a single platform that people can actually refer, contrast, compare, have conversations, as well as for the fact of pushing the agenda of the mission, which is all about education and research. And we all know that evidently when we try to make a case and we try to bring conversations to the floor, especially in debates or arguments or discourses that have contrary views, being educated in this whole area, as well as having the research evidence, is of primary importance. And I see this is where the center can make that difference. Right now, we are at the stage where we do have some tools, but we need to move further because things are moving very, very fast.
Thank you for that, Sudeep. So how would you explain DEI to non-practitioners? And maybe more importantly, how should we be thinking about it in our daily life?
So that's a good question. How do I explain DEI to non-practitioners? Well, let me give you a situation. Supposing you're walking into this park and you see in front of you many beautiful different kinds of flowers out there in striking colors and different patterns. Immediately it catches your attention. And when that catches your attention, what it really is because of the diversity that's out there in its different forms. And that's the beauty. That's the diverse element of all the different forms of it. It could be the orchids, the hibiscus, the frangipani, whatever it is. But the point is, there's so much diversity in colors and form. And they come in fragrance, they come in, different ways of how they actually express themselves. And then you have the element of equity, because when you actually go in and look at them on its own, you may say some may be growing from a pot, some may be growing from a soil, some may be coming from a tree. When you look, some may be actually watered, some may not be watered, some may be in the shade, some may be in the sun. And then you start to ask yourself, within this diversity, on the same tree itself, on the same plant, there's an element whereby some flowers seem to bloom better than some don't. Some are given the more respect in terms of how much light they're getting across, and some are not. Some are watered better and some are not. Some are plucked and some are not. And so you begin to realize, is there some element of equity between different plants? Are some given more attention and some are not, just because of the colors? And then you have this element whereby the inclusion part. As much as we're looking at all these beautiful plants, we're forgetting the green. We're forgetting the leaves that come with it. We're forgetting the tree that is behind that, that's actually supporting that. And so are we just looking at the beautiful flower and forgetting that there are leaves behind that? There's a beautiful tree behind that. Are you bringing that into the foray of your conversation and your discussion when you see the beauty? And so this is how I would explain it to a person who's a non-practitioner to understand. And if you put it in the context of people, or even animals for that matter, it's the same thing. You see all the beautiful colors, you see the wonderful talents, you see the fantastic experiences. And now how do you judge that? I mean, we always look at the number one, but always remember somebody could be number one. And that's because there's a number two. Otherwise, how are you going to be a number one? So it's always important to understand that there are the people out there that make you who you are simply and never exclude them. So the issue is about the fact that, we come with certain elements as human beings. And two of those things that are very important is the fact that our consciousness. And the other part is our ability to discriminate. And that is something that sets us different from animals and plants. The fact that we are conscious about our surroundings, what is out there, and even if no one teaches us, we know what to do, or we have an idea of what to do, get out there. Survival instincts are a little bit more ahead of our time, although our senses may not be sometimes as as best to the possibility of comparing to an animal, but we are conscious. We have the conscious of knowing what's right and what's wrong. We are able to actually reflect back. Our memory level is much higher. So that is very important commodity of us. The second thing is the discriminatory element. We're able to discriminate. We know what is right, what is wrong, what is up, what is down, what is good, what is bad, what color differentiates it from another. And what's happening right now is because these are so powerful tools, we are not able to actually understand how to use them in the best possible way. Or many times we use them in a more very abusive way. And that means if we want to be conscious about something, for example, we are sitting in a room, everyone's talking, we should be conscious of the fact that maybe there's one person out there who's not talking. Let's bring that person into the discussion. Or if you've written something, let's be conscious of the fact that maybe it's important to get another perspective. And then at the same time, the discriminatory element, we should be able to say, okay, should we do it or should we not? Can we do it now or can we do it later? Those are the things to me that are missing in always in this conversation. We don't understand about our consciousness and we don't listen to it very much, and we're not able to discriminate properly. Many times people say they have discriminated properly and maybe they've made the right conscious decision, but that could be based on the fact that either from an environmental perspective, they've only seen one side of the story, they've been very homogeneous to the environment, or the very fact that they don't see what they're saying. It's like asking a fish, can you see water? It's very hard for a fish to say they're in it, they don't see it. And so that's what I mean. Sometimes we don't understand what's happening around us. And so we have to take a step back. Right now, the issue is complex it goes into the people's lifestyle. I mean, at one point, if you go back in time, if people were infected by certain viruses, they'll be marginalized. Leprosy, AIDS, as you know, and now monkeypox has recently come out, and that's also putting people to pain. That's health. But now what's happening is people are now marginalized because of issues of immigration, economic perspectives, whether you're an urban person, whether you're a rural person, what school you came from, where have you been educated, your economic status in life, the kind of job you hold, your ranking in job, the kind of car you drive. Everybody is into this whole element of discriminating everybody against everybody, and whether you belong to my club. And this becomes a lot more difficult for the newer generation that's coming on board, who may not have all the privileges and benefits. And let me give you an example. If you are a female of color, and you, as it is, you're already having a challenge because of the fact that others are getting a little bit more privileges. But supposing you're a female of color, but you're disabled, and you may be queer, and you also the fact that your economic status is not up to there, you're a single mom, and your health may not be good. Can you imagine the challenge that person is going to go through in life? Simply, and this becomes very, very difficult for just one person. Now you multiply that for millions. People just get separated. I mean, already decisions are made to insulate certain groups from others. And so I'm hoping that with our efforts as an organization, where we move forward to educate and to offer research and to bring the GDIB and to do the things that we want to do for the strategies moving forward, we can elevate this consciousness among people to realize that we can make a difference. All of us can make a difference. The next time we want to make a decision about something, realize that there's someone else. Like I go back to my point, we look at the beautiful flowers out there on the garden, but we forget about those green leaves. It's quite natural for us. We just look at the so beautiful flower, but we forget about the leaf. But not knowing that that beautiful flower stands out because it's among those leaves. If it was just on its own by itself, we may have missed it. So I think it's important that our level of consciousness has been. And I think through education, through awareness, through a repetition of information that goes out to make people realize that just a singular change in their perspective can make a difference. And this is heading out to a lot of the leaders out there, future leaders, and the young generation that's coming out from today, from schools and from colleges out there.